Welcome. Now that we've finished designing the three parts we're going to need for the box, we have the front and back, the sides, and the top and bottom. We're going to assemble these together the same way we would in the wood shop before we cut the top and bottom apart like this. So we're going to start with a new standard IAM Inventor assembly. Before I get going, we're going to do a quick save here. File, save as. Make sure you're going into your H drive. I have that special folder I created, the jewelry box folder. And this has a weird name. This is going to be called Box Before Cut. We're going to do a full assembly and we're going to break this apart later. So rename it Box Before Cut in your H drive and save. So I'm going to come in and do a place. And we are going to place from my jewelry box folder the front and back first. So I'm going to click once on the screen to place one, move my mouse, click a second one, and then hit escape to drop my tool. Looking at my front and back, this is the one that is oriented the correct direction. So I'm going to take this part, I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go grounded. So that puts a pin in there. I now can't move this one. This one is still free floating, and we can move this around later. Next, I'm going to place two sides on here, 1 and 2, and then I'll hit my escape key. And I'm going to walk you through all of the constraints. So everything we do for this requires mates and flushes. If I click constraint, here is a mate. It's taking two faces and putting them together, this face and that face. Here's a flush, taking two faces and making them nice and even and flat. So let's start with a mate. We're going to mate the side, this inside edge, one click. And I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to mate it to this inside edge on my rabbit. Click. And I'm going to apply that. Next up, we're going to do a flush. I'm going to flush the top of my piece back here with the top of my side. We're going to apply it. Now we have to do something special. We're going to cancel out of this constraint. And if I try to move my side, you're going to notice it is stuck in two directions right now. I can only slide it back and forth. So what I want to do is move this out of the way, give myself some space, and we're going to attempt to mate this edge with the side I can't see right here. To do this, I grab my constraint. We're going to leave it on mate. I'm going to mate this edge. And if I want to turn my screen to see the back side of this part, there's multiple ways. You could click on a corner of a cube, and now I can see it. You could click on this free orbit tool. Or the way I like is I hold the shift key and I click and hold my rolly bar, and it allows me to move things around freestyle. Once I can see this back edge, I'll zoom in on it. I'm going to select it. It's going to mate those two faces together, and I'm going to apply. Cancel and go to my home view. Let's look over here so you can see what we've just done. We did a mate, two faces together, a flush, and a mate. If you end up doing some constraints that you think maybe aren't correct, and you went too far and you can't just undo it, you can always come in, right-click, and delete any of the constraints that you've added. So if you feel a little lost, just start deleting some of those, and then try to put them back in yourself. Okay, we are going to put the side over here. Let's start with a mate. I'm going to mate this face. Spin my view with this inside edge. Apply. I'm going to flush the top and the top. Apply. Cancel. Get it out of the way. Grab my tool again. We're going to do a mate for this inside edge with the edge of my side, and I apply it. Cancel. And now my side is locked into the rabbit. Next, we need to flip this part around. We're going to add a new constraint. We are going to be mating this to this inside edge. And there's a good chance when you do it, the part looks like it's in the wrong spot. So I'll help you with that. We're going to constrain and do a mate. I'm going to mate the inside edge of the rabbit right here with either this side or this side. And it'll flip my part around for me. That looks pretty good. I'm going to apply it. Now I'm going to flush the top and the top. I'm going to apply it. It almost looks perfect, but I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see it isn't. I haven't done the third constraint. So this one is pretty easy. We are going to flush this outside edge with this outside edge. Flush an edge with an edge. Apply it. Cancel. And the outside of our box is good to go. Let's give it a quick save. Next, we're going to place a top and a bottom. I'm going to put one top, one bottom. They're the same part. We're going to constrain. We're going to do a mate. We're going to mate this edge. Zoom in with the top, any of these top edges. Apply it. We're going to flush the outside with the outside. Apply it. Flush the outside with the outside. Apply it. Cancel, and this is locked in place. Let's attach this one on the bottom. We're going to constrain. We're going to mate this face. Spin your view. Again, I'm shift and clicking the rolly bar. I'm going to mate that to the bottom. Apply it. I'm going to flush the outside edge with the outside edge. I'll flush the end with the end. Apply. Cancel. And we're almost there. We're going to do one more thing in this video. On the 3D model tab, we're going to add some fillets on here. So we're going to grab the fillet tool. I'm going to leave the radius at 0.125. That's 1/8 of an inch. We're going to come in and fillet all of these edges because you're going to take this over to the belt sander. Once you have it all glued up, you're going to sand up the edges to make them smooth, and you're going to round over these corners here. So I did 1, 2, 3, apply. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, apply. I like to do them in chunks of 3, just in case I click the wrong thing. I can always come back and delete them. Let's turn our view. One, 2, 3. Oops, I grabbed the wrong edge. Cancel. Grab my fillet tool. 1, 2, 3. Apply. And on the back here, take your time. 1, make sure you're on the edge. 2, 3, apply. Cancel. Let's go to our home view. We now have a fully glued together box with our front, our back, our sides and the rabbits, and then we glued a top and a bottom on there. let's go ahead and save this. And that's all we need for this video. Nicely done.